Hello friend, and welcome to another video. My name is Amy. I am a cash stuffer and zero-based budgeter located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I live with my partner James and our 10-month-old son. And Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I'm really excited to be back to do another cash stuffing video. And today is really special because I have a new binder, and this binder is dedicated to self-care. And if you are familiar with my channel, you may know or be aware that last year, James was unfortunately furloughed from his job, and currently he is still on the hunt for a job, and the process has been going really well, and we're very optimistic and excited for what the future holds. But prior to being furloughed, James being furloughed, I had actually bought this self-care binder, and I was in this bind and I was like, oh man, do I continue to stuff it? Because we're on a spending freeze more or less in terms of like extravagance, right? Because we want to be responsible with our money, but at the same time, we don't want to squeeze ourselves so tight to where we're in a place where it's like, oh no, we don't have any money, we don't have anything to spend. And because I truly believe that when you get to that place, if you're operating from that place of like lack, right, there is no money and money is not coming in, then you start to behave in a way that, energetically, right, which sounds really woo-woo, but it has a practical application where that starts to impact and affect, your mood, which then affects your interactions with others, and then that impacts their move, and then it's this huge ripple effect, which might sound like I'm being dramatic, but I've mentioned in a previous video that my background is actually also in coaching, in mindset for your life and relationships. So I'm a life and relationship coach. And mindset really applies to your health, your wealth, finances, career, relationships, whether it's romantic or friendships. And I'll talk a little bit more about this, but I actually have another channel that I'll be creating. I'm in the process of creating rather for this year, and I'm super excited to share it with you. But before we get to that, let's talk about the stuff-in. So I decided to stuff a bit. I believe it's $20 from the income that we have, because in addition to unemployment, which helps to pay our bills, James also is doing side hustles. So the bulk of this comes from, and I believe, let's check. I believe I have $140 today. So that has gone into the self-care sinking fund, which I will then transfer over to the self-care binder, which I'm also, like I said, very excited about. It's a very cute binder. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, and 140. So $140 to stuff. Like I said, this came from primarily from Christmas. Some of it was actually money that we had spent on some gifts for a game that we play. I had bought, quite a few prizes. But then my dad actually sent over some money to cover for that. So we divided some money towards self-care as a gift to, to make Christmas a little bit brighter. So that is what we're working with today. So I'm really excited, like I said. And books is going to be getting $15. I'm a huge reader, and books are very important to me. Personal growth, particularly, has always been my passion. And particularly in the past few years, after becoming or leading up to rather becoming a coach, and after. It's just been something that, I'm really passionate about. And so I like to continue to grow and feed my mind. Clothes. Clothes I'm also super excited about because your girl needs some clothes. I literally went through my closet. Oh, and it's getting pretty dark in here, so let me turn that up a little bit. I went through and I cleared out my entire closet, and I literally have one thing in the closet right now. I still have my dresser, and there's some things in the dresser that I share with James. But I was just, for a very long time not feeling my clothes in my closet. So I was like, you know what? I don't like the feeling of this just bringing me down. So I'm going to purge it, and I'm going to purge it all. And to be honest, there wasn't a lot there to begin with. There are some things I mentioned when I was pregnant in a previous video or previous videos that I wasn't able to buy a lot of clothes because of the financial situation that we had been in previous to James getting the job that he was then furloughed from, which is like 2 steps back. And then prior to that, I'd done a lot of moving around. And so clothing had just not been a priority. But I'm excited that it is again, and I'll be able to, dress the way that I feel, which is good. And so courses goes along with, like I said, the personal growth aspect for me. I love to take courses from people that I consider to be wise people, and who have experiences that I value and have benefited hugely from their interpretation of life and what they have to share. So that is courses. Creating. As you may or may not know, I create these labels for my binders using my Cricut. I love to make things, and this has sort of been my new passion hobby, I guess. And I was very fortunate to receive a $40 Michaels gift card from some family members. So that's super cool, and I'm excited to be able to use that toward creating. Hair. That was another thing. Hair was not a priority for a long time. I have $45 going toward hair. For me, I have long, straight hair, so I don't have to cut it often. But when I do cut it, which is usually like once or twice a year, I really like to invest in, a place that I really like and that I really enjoy. And the last time that I got my hair cut, for lack of a better term, like I cheaped out, and I wasn't happy with my haircut, and I had to live with that for many months. So fortunately my hair is growing out, and I'll need a haircut sooner than later. So that is hair. And then makeup is another thing that I have been using the same makeup for a minute. Particularly like eyeshadow and eyes is where I focus on. I don't really wear foundation anymore. I might again, but I really like eyeshadow. I like eyeliner, mascara, like an occasional lipstick if I'm feeling fancy. So that's makeup. And then we have treat yourself. So in the games that we played, I wasn't the only one, or we rather, because it was James and I, or James and me rather, who had gotten, gifts for the games that we played during Christmas. So this year we played bingo, and that was really fun. I love bingo. And, I used to be like, oh, bingo is for when you're old. But I guess I am old now. Approaching 40, guys. But that's okay. I'm young at heart. And so I love bingo. And so I got two $15 gift cards toward Starbucks, which I'm very excited about. I actually don't drink coffee. I've never been able to handle the caffeine. I have a very sensitive system. So I'm big on tea, like on an occasional, very occasional, I think maybe once or twice I've gotten like a decaf, like Frappuccino or something. But Starbucks, for some reason, just really symbolizes treat yourself to me. But aside from Starbucks, I am a big fan of bakeries and cafes. And to me, that's like the ultimate treat yourself. I love a good, like a chocolate croissant or, man, even like just a really well made, like sandwich, like a BLT, like on a baguette, with a cup of tea and, like a little chocolate or something. And I actually come from a family where my mom used to own a restaurant, and my sister is a baker. She's a pastry chef, and she is a badass pastry chef. Oh, and I actually was going to also add $5 in addition, because if I do want to go to like a bakery that's not, Starbucks, then I'll have that. But yeah, I feel very fortunate to come from a family where, my sister, like I said, she's really good at what she does, and I get to experience that. But they do live a bit far, so locally we also have some awesome options. So yeah, so that is treat yourself. So I can't tell you how good I feel setting up this binder and creating it and really setting some money aside for myself to feel good. And I offered James to create him one too. For now, he prefers to just keep his cash on him without the binder system. But just being able to, because sometimes, I would have it in my self care envelope in my other binder. And like if something came up, I would just take that money from that and I would put it toward, or I would feel tempted to if I didn't actually do it. But I'd feel tempted, or like I said, would actually just switch it around. And then I felt really bad because I was like, man, it feels like I can never get toward, clothes or a haircut. And, I think as women, we have a tendency to, naturally, we want to look after, everyone else, and particularly our children. And, like with James, I have no hesitation in stuffing his haircut, right? Like his haircut fund, because I know that he needs it. And it's the realization that, it's not just about needing it, but it's about also wanting it, and when wanting to feel good, and that it's okay to feel good, and you deserve to feel good. And I'm going to say feel good 100,000 times, but it really is that, feminine aspect of us that, thrives upon feeling good, and creating a system where you're able to set that money aside and go, hey, it's cool for me to feel good, and it's cool for me to treat myself, and all of the other things are still taken care of, and we are going to be okay. And, again, like if shit really, really hit the fan, forgive my language, like it would go, of course I would pool it with the rest of the money. But I believe that things will be okay. And I hope that, in some capacity, if you're able to even set aside a couple of dollars for yourself, right? Something that truly makes you feel good, I hope that you see the impact, right? And that you feel the impact that doing that for yourself really provides. And an example that I'll give, is, for instance, for James, right? Getting his haircut also makes him feel good, right? As a man. Because it's not just about men and women, but it makes him feel good. And, when he goes on his interviews, which he has been since being furloughed, looking good feels good, right? Looking our best feels great. And when we feel great, we can show up to that call and show up and have the conversation and really be able to show who we are and not worry in the back of our minds like, oh, how do I look? How am I coming across? Does my hair look whack? And it's making those small adjustments, where the money that we budget, our budget is really a reflection of our values. And like I went through and talked about, I value learning. I value looking nice and looking good. I value creating things, and I value the just good feeling of being able to have a nice treat, right? These are all things that I value. And I also value the security of having our bills paid. And, they feed each other. Looking good allows you to show up to be able to make the money. Not looking good, feeling good allows you to show up and make the money and give your best effort. And when you give your best effort and you're giving value to the world because you feel value within yourself, you're able to then go and take that money and put it in what gives you security, which is, knowing that your bills are paid, knowing you have a roof over your head and food to eat. So then once you feel that security, you're able to then again take a portion of that and then put it back toward feeling good. So it's a cycle. And, that's something that I've really, really come to internalize. And the more that I practice it, the more and more, financially things improve. Because it's not getting yourself down to your last dollar and being in a mindset of scarcity and lack and going, oh my gosh, I have nothing left. And, I need to give up this and this and that. And then I have nothing. And then I feel worse. And, I hope that you get, or I hope that it's coming across, the message, I guess, that I'm trying to share. But yeah, so like I mentioned, my background is in coaching, and the crazy thing is coaching myself has truly been the thing that has allowed me to grow to the extent where I'm like, okay, I've learned a few things and these things have really helped me, and I would love to share those things in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, romance, friendship. I think I covered that a little earlier. But so I have another channel that I am creating to talk about mindset, because it all starts with mindset and feeding your mind things that will propel you forward and help you break through wherever you may be stuck. So if you are into mindset, if you are into sort of growth, personal growth as a person, and really, going after your desires and your dreams and being the best that you can be, this is a channel for you. This channel and that channel, which I'll link down in the description below. I may or may not have said that again, but yeah. So like I said, I hope that you have some self-care going. If you do have self-care and you have some categories that you feel really passionate about, I'd love to hear what those are. I'm always looking to expand this because feeling good feels great. So yeah, Happy New Year. And the the channel has just like a few drone videos on it right now, so don't be alarmed. I'm working on the content behind the scenes right now. I used to love taking videos of beautiful scenery, so those are still up from years ago. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I always, as I always say, I really appreciate that you choose to spend your time here with me. And I'm really honored to be in a group of women, primarily. There may be some men out there, but I feel really honored to be in a group of women who prioritize improving, the situation that you're in, whatever it is. And I hope to contribute as much as I can. And yeah, so thanks again for being here. Let me know if there's any content that you'd like to hear about, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.